Um, I thought that was a a tough game. Credit to High Point. They're a pretty good team. They played really well in the second half. I think they upped their physicality a little bit, bothered us on some drives. Made us take some tough twos. They do a really good job rebounding the ball, and what they were good at, they did that today, and they were able to negate us on the glass. 41-29. So credit to them. It's a good team, and yeah. For us, I thought it was a tale of two halves, right? I thought in the first half, the effort was there the entire game. We played for 40 minutes, but was the discipline, right? Discipline on the offense and the defensive end. It was there in the first half, and the result of that was 50% from the field, and up 1.5, and we're holding them to 42%. And then the second half, it was just undisciplined play after undisciplined play on both sides of the ball, and that results in them shooting 50%, and we shot 27% in the second half. So I'm encouraged from this because I can show these guys like, hey, when you are disciplined and you do follow the game plan, this is what happens. But here's what happens when you don't. And if we can put that together, I think we'll be a special group going down the stretch.
Yeah. You mentioned really coachable moments, especially in that second half. Based off the way you guys played them up at their place, 3 halves of really, really good basketball, maybe the best that they've been played against in this conference. Moving forward with 2 games left before conference tournament play, you mentioned about tonight being kind of more about what you guys didn't do maybe in that second half versus what they did do. I'm curious with these 2 games, what are some points of emphasis or pillars of culture that you guys want to build on towards conference tournament play?
I'll tell you, it's one thing: it's discipline. I mean, that was the name of the game today. And I believe everything happens for a reason. God showed us this for a reason tonight, and I think this is going to make us better. The lack of discipline in the second half, I think it was shown tonight for a reason, and it's better for that to happen now as opposed to happening that second week in March. And if we can clean that up now and play 40 minutes of disciplined basketball, I like our chances.
Yeah. Getting some guys back from injury, that felt like maybe the best half of basketball we've seen from Caleb Clinton in that first half. They kind of threw some different defensive looks at him in the second half, but you speak to maybe his health and maybe the health of the overall team moving forward late in the year.
Yeah, Caleb, it's been a process with him, and it's a very important piece to our team. He's such a, he has physical gifts that a lot of kids at this level don't have. He's been slowly getting his legs back under him, and you want it to happen the first game he comes back, which was ironically against High Point. But he's just finally started to get his legs back. As a kid that's been in the program for 3 years, he knows what it is that we do. He knows what we expect. So this is just a result of him, I think his legs fully getting under him, from the surgery. And then he has a setback from the surgery. And, it's good to see him playing, as hard and as physical as he is, because when he's doing that, he really helps us.
Finally, on a final note, emotional day for those 2, but really cool seeing R.J. Duhart and Noble, kind of the respect that his teammates showed to him. Can you kind of speak to what those 2 have meant to Buccaneer culture?
Yeah, those guys are program builders. I know I'm blessed that those guys chose to come here. Those guys aren't always well, the Duhart talks a lot, but Noble might not always be the loudest. But those guys really show what culture is, by example, right? Those guys probably the 2 most that play for the the team. Like everything they do is never about them. It's never about them, and to just have 2 guys that are seniors that's been through it, especially from other spots. Duhart's a winner. He went to the NCAA tournament. Noble Days has won for 4 years at Tulane, and to be able to add that to this program, I think that's really helped us because they're older, and they show these guys by example. And even sometimes like they talk to them. It's not a lot of yelling, but they'll talk to these younger guys and say, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Hey, we got to lock in. And it's so good having them, and that's why their teammates respect them so much, is because they set the example, right? And they can never look at Duhart or Noble and say, hey, but they can't do that, because those guys do it, and they come in, they're everyday guys. So it's been a blessing. It's going to be sad to see those guys leave. They've definitely improved our program for the better. Thank you.